Assalamualaikum. In this video, we are going to discuss this question. It says Charlie is developing an adding game. The rules of the game are the player is asked addition question. Each question asks the player to add together two random whole numbers between 1 and 10 inclusive. If the player gets the correct answer, 1 is added to their score. The program will run until user scores at least 3 points. At the end of the game, their score is displayed. So we need a few things in this first before we start doing the code. We need to make a variable for scores. We need to keep track of the number of questions because there should be at least 3 points. So we could keep track of how many questions there are and how many correct answers and how many wrong answers. And we will need a random module to pick random numbers from 1 to 10. So let's start from importing random module. Import random as r. This as r part is optional. If you don't want to add it, it's up to you. Well, it's easier because now I have to write r instead of random every time I will call it. Okay, next I will make the variables to keep track of their points. Points equals to 0. For now the points are 0. Then we can count the number of questions. So number count. This is the variable, and we can print a text before the game starts. For example, score at least 3 points to win. So this is the initial setup of the game. Now I'm going to use a while loop in this one. Well, while loop keeps iterating, keeps executing a code until a condition is fulfilled. So the condition here is if there are at least 3 points, then the code could break. So I will put it here. If point equals 3 points. So if the user has achieved 3 points, then the code is going to break. We can add a message in this as well. For example, print yay, you won. Now what we are gonna do is we need to get the numbers. If this condition is not correct, then it will go to the next part of the code, and that would be making a question for the user. So I'm making a variable first, and I will write r dot randit. What this is gonna do is it's going to pick a random number. This random integer, this is short for random integer, rand random and int integer, and I will put the round brackets. So 1 and 10. This is the range. In brackets we give the range. I will copy this and I will make another one like this. Control C. Okay. And now I need to change its name. I will write second here. Oh, I need to write the full thing again. Second equals to r dot random 1 comma 10. Okay, so what this is gonna do is it will pick a random number, it will save it in the variable first, it will pick a random number again, and it will save it in the variable second, because we need two numbers to add. Now I need to save it as an answer somewhere. So answer equals to first plus second. This is the initial part of question making. Now I need to ask this question from the user. So I will create another variable ask, and in that I will take user input. Okay, so now I will make the question like what is let us say we could write that in curly brackets, first plus second, a question mark, the string is gonna end here, and bracket. Well, I will add one more thing, that is backslash n. Backslash n is gonna break the line, so the user input will be printed in a separate line instead of next to it. Okay, now the string ends and this is done. Well, I need to add one more thing here, and that is an F. This is an F string, and I will just tell you what it does. Control X, F, Control V. Okay, now you can see this is a F in the start, and then I will start the string like this. Oh, I forgot the bracket. This F string, this F here, it lets me import a value saved in the variable. For example, in first, what's gonna be there? It's gonna be a random number from 1 to 10. It could be either 1 or any number between 1 to 10. So instead of first, it will import that number here. So the question would look like this. What is, it could be any number between 1 to 10, for example 3, plus second, like 5, 6, 7, any number, and then it will ask you using this question mark, and then whatever the answer you are giving, that would be printed in a separate line because I have put this \n here. Okay, now we need to check if the user is giving us the right answer or not. So again, we are going to use if statement for that, and if ask equals to answer, well, we need to use two equal signs since, oops, yes, we will need two equal sign because whenever we are comparing or checking a result, we need two equal sign for that. It's the part of the syntax, so that's why you will have to use two of them. Okay, and if this statement, if this condition is true, then it's going to print correct. Oh, I forgot the correct answer. You could also say correct answer. I'm just adding correct here. And the next thing we are going to do is we are going to add a point into the points variable, since whenever the player is getting a correct answer, 1 is added to the score. So point plus equals to 1. You could also write it like this, point equals to point plus 1, but I have written it with a short method, so it's up to you whichever you prefer. Okay, these two things are done. What next? We need to check if the user is giving us a wrong answer. So wrong, oh no, not wrong, else. Now we will say print wrong answer. Now if the answer is not correct, then there is only one condition left, and that would be wrong. So this looks good. I think we need to add one more thing in it, and that thing is the number count. I forgot to add the number count here. So yeah, whenever the computer will ask us a question, it is going to add 1 into the number count, so we could keep track of how many questions we are actually answering. So we could add it after this. Every time it will ask, the number count will be raised to 1. Number count plus equals 1. Again, that is equal to number count equals to number count plus 1. So this is the extended version of the same code. Both are going to work the same. Okay, let us play this and see if it's working. It gives me invalid syntax. If points, oops, I forgot the two equal sign. Okay, I have run the code now, and it says 10 plus 2, that is 12. It's a wrong answer. Well, it is saying that because we forgot to do one thing, and that was we forgot to convert the user input into an integer. Okay, I'll put this into brackets, and I will write integer here. I think I need to cut this whole thing. Int and paste. Okay, what I've done here is I have added this int, that is short for integer, and it's used to convert any data type into integer. For example, the user is going to give us a number, but it will be saved as a string because Python does that. It saves the user input as strings. So we need to convert that in integer in able to be recognizable by the program. Now let's try it again. I hope it doesn't show me a wrong answer this time. Okay, now it says what 6 plus 8, that's going to be 14. See, now it says correct because now it recognized this input as a number. Now what is 3 plus 3? That is 6. I will answer one question wrong just to see if it keeps the correct number count and if count the points correctly. So 9 plus 1 is 10, but I'm gonna give 11 here. So it tells me a wrong answer. And now 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, So 6 plus 8, 3 plus 3, 9 plus 1, 4 plus 1. It says, yay, you won, but it is not showing us the number count. Okay, well, we did not ask for it. Now I'm going to add it into the code. Okay, let us say print you answered, or we can just say you scored. Okay, I will use the F string into this as well. So F inverted commas you scored. I will use curly brackets. Points out of, I will use the curly brackets again, and this time I will put number count here and inverted commas again. So you scored points out of number count. So that is what we have done here. Points are going to score the number of correct answer, and number count is going to keep track of the total question that it's going to ask me. And let's run it. So 8 plus 10 over here is 18. 8 plus 7 is going to be 15. And I'm going to answer this one wrong. So 9 plus 9 is 18, but let's just say I put 12 here. That's wrong. And it's giving you the score like this. We could change that by taking this out of the while loop. If I take this statement out of the while loop, it will not print it directly right after answering a question. It will print it at the end of the loop when the loop is going to break. So let's pause it and run it again. 10 plus 5 is 15. 9 plus 6 is 15 again. I will answer this one wrongly. So this is wrong, and 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay, now yes, it says, yay, you won, and you scored 3 out of 4 because I answered one of the questions wrong. So this is how it works. You can add some exceptions into it. For example, if the user puts an alphabet instead of a number, then you can specify that they are putting a wrong value and they need to use only numbers. Well, we could add that in another video maybe. That is a use of exception in the codes. I will add it into the code and I will explain it as well later. For now, that's it. Bye.